Hi everyone. A lot of you are probably, with this nice weather, spending your time gardening. By the way, it's Yoga with Suzanne, Suzanne Jakubowski, SuzanneJ.com. Check out this website. It's on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube as well on Suzanne Jakubowski. Okay, so anyways, as I said, you were probably outside gardening. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of things going on from clippers and raking in the arms and the rest. So I just wanted to focus a little bit on that today. So first of all, we can just warm up our wrists, doing some gentle circles back and forth. Just warm them up and even shake them out. Shaking is really good for your joints, particularly if you have arthritis. Shaking is really good. And then making a fist and moving the fingers towards your body. Okay, you don't have to hold them up like that. You can do it anywhere. And then maybe doing some circles with your fists. That's just to warm up a little bit. And then let's see if you have something, particularly if you have carpal tunnel, you might have tightness in this area right here. One thing I actually like to do is take my thumb and run down the meaty muscle and back up and just release any tension that I might be holding in there, because that often causes a problem. And then I might turn around. This is actually almost like a little, see what's going on exercise. Between the two bones, I'll stick my thumb and I'll go in between and I'll just see. And if there's pain, and if the pain's resonating up into the elbow, or if this feels really tight, then it tells me that I need to stretch that area. Okay, and I'll do the same on the other hand. So, and I'm left-handed, so there's quite a marked difference between my left and my right hand. So I'm doing that meaty muscle up and down, and then I'm going in between the bones on the top of the arm, all the way to the elbow. I'm just seeing if there's anything going on there. And then I just shake my hands out again, and then interlock. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna take my hands on the fingers on the inside of the palm, and I'll do this stretch here. And so this will tell you a lot. I'm pushing your fingers back again, so you might feel strain or stretch right here in that muscle that we just massaged a little bit. You might feel it all the way up to your shoulder. Make sure you're not lifting the shoulder up. Keep the shoulder down. Remember, all shoulder issues happen because we're rounding forward and lifting, so we want to be careful on that. So I'm just seeing what's happening with that stretch, and then I'll do the other hand. And again, quite a bit of difference, and actually I even feel this in my fingers. So we have to think about the hand kind of like the foot. Lots of bones, lots of arches, lots of muscles in there. So I'm stretching that out, good. And then I could try pushing the two of them together. And as you notice, I have my fingers wide, and I'm pushing all the knuckles into each other, and just see how that feels. Sometimes when we have an issue, it's because the muscle is weak, and that's why it got traumatized. So sometimes, many times, strengthening is the answer. So now I take the back of my hands together, and I'm going to press them. So I did do a lot of gardening yesterday. Well, not a lot, but a bit. And I'm feeling it in my hands for sure. So there we go. Good. And then just exhale and shake it out again. So this next exercise is for if you have carpal tunnel, and you should do this every day as often as you can. And what you want to do is you line up your shoulder with your wrist, and then you push the hand back, but you're going to do it finger by finger. So I'm going to take my baby finger, and I'm trying to get my baby finger back to my elbow. So the thing about this is that a lot of people go out here, or they have their arm up here. The elbow is pretty well underneath the shoulder, just slightly in front, because of course your body's in the way here. Wrist and elbow are in alignment, and then you take the baby finger, you pull it back, and you try to pull it back towards your elbow. And I'm really aiming for the outside of the elbow. So that's just my baby finger. Then you're going to do your second finger. And it's really interesting what you feel. Each finger that you pull back, so now I'm taking my third finger back. Each finger creates a different sensation in the arm. Individual. And then I take my fourth finger, my pointer finger. Make sure you're not tensing up your neck and your shoulders as you do this. Then take your thumb back, whichever way that'll go. Good. And then shake that hand out. If you do that again, you might find different. And another tip is to put your thumb behind the wrist or the hand too. And as you pull your fingers back, you get a little bit more action there. Okay, and then maybe you go to the other hand. So we want to do shoulder and elbow, elbow and wrist. Flip the hand over so the palm is facing up. Then I start baby finger to elbow. Yeah, I can feel that all the way down into the forearm, towards the elbow. It's not going into the elbow, but towards. And then the next one, second finger. Third finger. And this again, on this one I feel it in a different place in my hand more than in my forearm. And then fourth finger. And then thumb. Drawing the thumb back, just pushing it back. And then relax again. Another thing to do is to take your, you have to think of you can do all the same exercises that we do with our feet, you can do with your hands. So I'm going to just tilt this down so you can see. We are going to put your hand on the block, and then you're going to lift each finger up individually without lifting the other fingers up, and ideally without lifting the palm of the hand off the floor. So I find all the knuckles pushing into the hand, and then I lift up individually. You can practice that pretty well anywhere while you're watching TV or sitting at the dinner table. Might irritate people, but okay, so there. And then we go again on the other hand. And what's really interesting about this is you'll notice that you have more control or ability. You should be able to do this with your toes, by the way, as well. I won't show you right now, but and if you don't have it, that's what you should really work on that as well. But that's the little exercise there. Another exercise that we like to do is we're going to take so I'm going to take my arm, my hand right on my shoulder, and I'm going to draw the shoulder down, and then I'm going to I'm just kind of like massaging my arm. I'm going to massage it down, massage it down, massage it down, and then I'm going to pull on the finger. So I'm starting with my thumb. Then I come back to that starting plate. I pull, I pull, I pull, I pull, I pull, I pull, go down, using a fair bit of pressure. And then I pull my second finger. It's like that joke, pull my finger, right? And then the third, pull. The fourth, pull. And I'm going to cross my body, notice that. And then the baby finger. Good. And then draw that out. And then I go to the other side. So again, I put my hand on the top of my arm, and then I draw the energy down. I'm using quite firm pressure, and I'm going to pull my thumb. And hold and pull. I did that a little bit fast. When you pull, you might feel, sort of a feeling of stretch all the way up the body. Okay, second finger. Third finger. Fourth finger. Fifth finger. And again, you can hold a little bit longer than I am, but just for the purpose of this video, kind of just doing that. Good. And then exhale and release. Okay, another thing to do is to crisscross. We sort of call this elephant arm. So you're going to crisscross, and then you're going to draw your hands up towards your hands. See how I scoop them in, and you're going to draw them back and draw. And if you can't do this, or you can only get this far, just work where you can go. Like, so maybe I could only get this far, so I'm only going to work there. And you'll see when I turn the opposite way, I might not have that mobility. Okay, so that's now I have my right arm on top, and I've clasped my left, and now I'm going to do the opposite. Left hand on top, clasped, and again I'm going out. Now this feels totally different. As I said, I'm left-handed, so, and I do massage, so on the left it's a lot tighter, but this is the action that we're doing, and we're just practicing that. Okay, so just go in and out. Another thing that's really important for the shoulder and the arm is what we call elephant arm, and that's when we just let our arm hang. And I think I did this in another video, but you let your arm hang, and then you kind of move it in a figure eight. It's really good if you have compression. So if you've fallen and you're jammed your shoulder in to your body, this will release and let it go. And you can do this several times a day, and then you can start adding a little bit of weight. So I might add my block. These weigh nothing, so I'll start with that, and then I will graduate to something a little bit heavier. It's not even really necessary. It's more about just this releasing the compression that you're feeling in your shoulder. All right, one more for the shoulder, and then I'll just do a few other little wrist and hand things. So this is one of my favorite new exercises for my shoulder. I take the strap, so you can use anything, you don't have to have a yoga strap, and I take it in my hand, and I take the strap behind the elbow. You see, this is the setup, and then again, this has to be pretty perfect here. I want to be in that L shape here, and I want the elbow and the shoulder in alignment, and the wrist and the shoulder in alignment. And then I take the strap and I pull. So as I'm pulling the strap away from me, I'm pulling my elbow back into the strap. So this is a really good rotator cuff. And it's all related, right? Wrist, forearm, elbow, shoulder, neck, trapezius. I mean, we have to work on them all to really feel good. It's a multi-dimensional approach I always feel like you need to take, maybe even the soles of your feet, because fascial tissue runs up the whole back of the body. So, okay, so I'm pulling with this hand, I'm pulling with my right arm. Make sure you don't start going here or up here or down here. Got to keep, it's good to do it in front of a mirror to get an idea of where you're at. All right, good. So that's exercise. So that's strengthening. As I said, sometimes strengthening is the answer more so than stretching. Sometimes stretching you need to do first. Release the tension and then strengthen. Okay, so we have elbow behind, strap behind the elbow. This is the setup. Not over here, just right behind the elbow, right at that bone where your forearm starts. Okay, and then I'm pulling and resisting with my elbow. Sitting up nice and straight, of course, always breathing, always through that exercise. And exhale and release. Okay. As I promised, going back a little bit to the hands. So this is an exercise for strengthening the hands. And what you basically do is you clasp your hands. You have your left index finger on top, the right on the bottom. Then you unclasp and you change. So now I have my right index finger on the top. I'm going to hug, and we're going. And we go as fast as we can and as many times as we can possibly go. Okay, so you see, you get into a rhythm, and you want to do this until you feel fatigue. So again, strengthening and using muscles that I'm not normally using, and getting out of patterns that are not functional for our body, so they therefore cause pain. Okay, and then second one, I'm going to clasp my hands like I'm clapping, okay? But then I'm going to change my clasp. So you see what I did? One this way, this way, this way, this way. Okay, so I'm clasping my hands. And again, I want to go fast and I want to go as many times as I possibly can. And you'll be shocked at how you start doing this and you feel fatigue almost instantaneously. So try it out. Okay, and then so you can keep going on that. I'm recommending 89 to 100, anywhere in that range. Okay, and several times a day if you have wrist issues. Okay, and then the last thing that we can do, there's many things we can do. Actually, could probably do an hour video on just the hands, but we're going to push out through the knuckles. Okay, and now I want the baby finger to come towards my head. I want the thumb to touch, and I'm pushing through the knuckles, opening up. And you see my elbows. Maybe if you have shoulder issues, you're going to have to keep the elbows bent, but eventually you want to bring the inner elbows, the creases of the elbows together as you push out. And you want to open the hands up as much as you can. Breathe in. And then again, you can make sure you're sitting properly. Have that neutral pelvis that I'm always talking about. Dig your sit bones in. Get length in the side body. Lift those rib cage up off the hips. And then slowly lift your arms up over your head, but not shrugging the shoulders up. Keeping the shoulders down, keeping the shoulder blades into the body, and slowly lifting up and seeing, can you get those hands up to the ceiling? And what you might notice is that your hands are on a bit of an angle. So if water was poured into your hands, it would actually fall down the front. Okay, some of you, very rarely do you see the opposite. So what you're working on is bringing the index fingers up more towards the ceiling. And you can feel it. It almost feels like a bit of a burn if you're tight in that area. Okay, and then just shake your arms out again. Shake your hands out. So I'm going to leave it there for today. But like I said, I could do a whole hour on the hands. And we have these, so, we can massage our hands as well. Just at the end here, getting right in with your thumb into the areas that are tight. And again, go back into that forearm and actually see if it feels any better. So check me out, YouTube, Suzanne Jakubowski, Jakubowski. Share this video if it's helpful for you, and we will see you very soon. Namaste.